P0lice investigating role of UK officers in torture of Al-Qaeda suspect. Metropolitan Police detectives have launched an investigation into allegations that MI5 and MI6 officers involved in the interrogation under torture of an Al-Qaeda suspect committed serious criminal offences. Scotland Yard has confirmed that a senior investigating officer, who is familiar with other rendition cases, has begun examining the role of UK intelligence officials during the questioning of Abu Zubaydah at CIA's so-called black sites. The Saudi-born Palestinian was seized in 2002 in Pakistan following the previous year's 9/11 attacks on New York and Washington. He was held at sea. A 4-year-long inquiry by Parliament's All-Party Intelligence and Security Committee published its report last year, establishing that of Zubaydah at those locations. It continued in May 2002, a U.S. official briefed CIS MI6 that Abu Zubaydah was being held in Stirling, believed to be the code name for one of the black sites. CIS became aware. The report by MPs and peers added the case of Abu Zubaydah shows direct awareness of extreme mistreatment and probable torture. However, the parliamentary report noted that, according to a 2014 U.S. Senate Select Committee on Intelligence report on the CIA detention and interrogation program, Abu Zubaydah was routinely subjected to treatment that by UK standards would be considered torture, including being waterboarded. The European Court of Human Rights in its treatment of Abu Zubaydah, whose full name is Zain al-Abidin Muhammad Hussein. The judgment included Abu Zubaydah's account of how he was suffocated, subjected to deafening blasts of music and denied solid food. Describing the bed was then again lowered to horizontal position and the same torture carried out again with the black cloth over my face and water poured on from a bottle. I struggled against. The Metropolitan Police launched their inquiry after Raju Bhatt, a solicitor with the London law firm Batt Murphy, who represents Abu Zubaydah's interests in the UK, wrote to the force requesting that it launch a criminal investigation or explain why it had failed to take action. In his letter to the Met, Batt wrote, "It is plain that Mr. Zubaydah has been subject to mistreatment amounting to torture, and that there is, to say the least, compelling and credible evidence that UK officials had direct awareness of that torture, but nonetheless sent to US officials questions to be put to him in interrogation. It is equally plain that such conduct on the part of the UK officials amount to the commission of serious criminality, including offences under Section 134 of the Criminal Justice Act 1988 and misconduct in public office." Abu Zubaydah, he added, has been unable to make any such complaint until now. He was unaware of A lawyer for the Metropolitan Police wrote back confirming that a senior investigating officer, who worked on Operation Hinton and Operation Aiden, would begin investigating. Was an inquiry into MI5's interrogation of Binyam Mohammed after the CIA told the agency he was being continuously deprived of sleep. Operation Aiden, the Foreign Office said it would neither confirm nor deny that a police investigation had begun. A spokesperson for the Metropolitan Police confirmed that it is reviewing allegations regarding the treatment of a non-British citizen who has been in detention in locations outside the United Kingdom since 2002. The Met was requested to review these allegations via a letter to the Commissioner on January 30, 2019. The review will involve Zain al-Abidin Muhammad Hussein, better known as Abu Zubaydah, was, according to his U.S. lawyers, held since 2006 in one of the most isolated sections of Guantanamo Bay detention camp in Cuba. He has reportedly been subjected to waterboarding 83 times during interrogations. Born in Saudi Arabia in 1971, he was brought up on the Palestinian West Bank. He joined the Mujahideen. He helped run a training camp, which the CIA said was linked to Al-Qaeda, and had become the target of U.S. surveillance before 9/11, when he was alleged to have been involved in attacks in Jordan. In 2002, he was tracked down by the CIA and Pakistani intelligence services to a safe house in Faisalabad. Injured in the raid, in 2016, carrying an eye patch, Following the loss of sight in one eye in disputed circumstances, he appeared during that was transmitted live to journalists and human rights observers in Washington. An unseen lawyer read out allegations against him, including that he had played a key role in al-Qaeda's communications with supporters and operatives abroad in the 1990s and interacted closely with its second-in-command at the time, Abu Hafs al-Masri. Abu Zubaydah, the detainee profile asserted, had sent operatives to al-Qaeda senior member Khalid Sheikh Mohammed to discuss the feasibility of exploding a radiological device in the U.S. and backed the use of remote-controlled bombs against U.S. and coalition forces in Afghanistan. But his then lawyer, Brent Mickham, defended his client in a 2009 article, observing Zane's capture and imprisonment were touted as a great achievement in the fight against terrorism and al-Qaeda. There was just one. Poland and Lithuania have both been ordered by the European Court of Human Rights ruled to pay Zubaydah £100,000 86,000 each for violating his rights. He has not been charged.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park,